Have you ever met someone who's been working at the same company for 15, 20, or even 30 years? Most people admire them. They're called loyal, dedicated, reliable. But what if I told you that loyalty at work can be one of the most expensive financial decisions you'll ever make? Not because you're a bad employee, not because you're not working hard, but because the modern job market often rewards movement more than loyalty. And for many Americans, staying at the same company for too long can quietly cost hundreds of thousands of dollars over a career. Today, we're talking about what I call the loyal employee tax, a hidden financial penalty that millions of workers pay without even realizing it. Let's get into it. Imagine two friends, Jake and Ryan, both graduate college at 22 years old. Both get jobs paying $50,000 a year. Same city, same industry, same skill level. At first, their careers look identical, but then they make different choices. Jake loves stability. He stays at the same company. Every year he gets a small raise, maybe 2%, maybe 3%, sometimes 4% if business is good. Ryan does something different. Every few years he updates his resume, interviews with other companies, and changes jobs whenever a significantly better opportunity appears. He's not reckless, he's strategic. 3 years later, Jake is making around $54,000. Ryan switches jobs and jumps to $65,000. A few years after that, Jake reaches $59,000. Ryan changes companies again and lands at $82,000. $10 years into their careers, Jake is still waiting for management to recognize his loyalty. Ryan is negotiating from a position of leverage. And here's the crazy part. Ryan isn't necessarily smarter. He isn't working harder. He simply understands how companies operate. Because companies often pay more money to attract talent than they do to retain it. Think about that for a second. A company may spend thousands recruiting a stranger while giving its existing employees a 3% raise. The new hire gets market value. The loyal employee gets a cost of living adjustment. And that's where the loyal employee tax begins. Now let's talk about something that many workers discover far too late. Most raises are designed to keep you comfortable, not wealthy. Let's say inflation averages around 3%. Your company gives you a 3% raise. Congratulations. You didn't really get richer. You just stayed in the same place. Your paycheck is bigger, but so are groceries, rent, insurance, utilities, and everything else. You're running faster just to stay where you are. Meanwhile, someone who changes jobs and receives a 20% pay increase isn't merely keeping up with inflation. They're moving ahead. This is one reason wage growth often happens in big jumps rather than small annual raises. The largest salary increases frequently occur when someone accepts a new offer, not when they wait patiently for promotion season. Here's a story that illustrates this perfectly. Meet Sarah. For 10 years, Sarah worked for the same company. She showed up early, stayed late, trained new employees, and took on extra responsibilities. Her managers loved her. Every performance review was excellent. One year, she finally gathered the courage to ask for a significant raise. The answer: "We appreciate everything you've done, but the budget is limited." A few months later, Sarah discovered that a newly hired employee with less experience was earning nearly $20,000 more than she was. Why? Because that person entered at current market rates. Sarah was still being paid based on a salary structure that started a decade earlier. Eventually, she interviewed elsewhere. Within weeks, she received an offer worth 35% more. One conversation with another company increased her income more than years of loyalty had. And stories like Sarah's happen every single day. Now, before anyone gets angry, let's be clear. Not every company is bad. Not every manager is unfair. And job hopping every 6 months is usually a terrible idea. But there's an important reality that many employees ignore. Your employer and you do not have the same financial goals. Your goal is to maximize your income and opportunities. The company's goal is to control costs while getting the best possible results. That's not evil, that's business. If a company can keep you happy with a 3% raise instead of a 20% raise, most companies will choose the cheaper option. Again, not because they hate you, because that's how businesses work. And once you understand that, you stop taking compensation personally. Here's another problem. The longer you stay somewhere, the easier it becomes to get comfortable. You know the systems, you know the people, you know what to expect, and comfort can be dangerous because the job market keeps moving even when you don't. New technologies emerge, new skills become valuable, new companies appear, salaries rise elsewhere. But if you're staying in the same place year after year, you may not even realize how much the market has changed. It's like sitting on a train that's moving slowly while another train speeds past you. At first, the difference seems small. Then suddenly, it's massive. Let's do some simple math. Imagine one worker earns an extra $15,000 per year by strategically changing jobs every few years. That doesn't sound life-changing, but over 20 years, that's $300,000. Now add raises based on that higher salary. Add retirement contributions, add investment growth, add employer matches, add bonuses tied to larger compensation packages. Suddenly the difference isn't $300,000. It can approach $500,000 or more across an entire career. That's why I call it a tax. Not because anyone literally takes the money, but because the cost is hidden. Most people never see the bill. They only see the missing wealth years later. Now some people will say, but what about loyalty? It's a fair question. Loyalty absolutely matters. The problem is assuming loyalty will always be rewarded financially. Sometimes it is. Many times it isn't. A company can appreciate you and still underpay you. A manager can genuinely like you and still be unable to increase your salary. A great workplace can still be a poor financial decision. Those realities can all exist at the same time. And that's what makes this topic uncomfortable, because many workers want loyalty to be enough. Unfortunately, the market doesn't always work that way. So what should you do? First, know your market value. At least once a year, see what similar positions are paying. Not because you're planning to quit, but because information is power. Second, keep your skills updated. The more valuable your skills become, the stronger your negotiating position. Third, don't assume your company knows your worth. You need evidence, data, comparable salaries, achievements, and results. And fourth, never confuse comfort with opportunity. Sometimes staying is the right move. Sometimes leaving is the right move. But make that decision intentionally, not by default. Here's the truth most people learn too late. Companies replace employees. Employees replace companies. That's how the modern workforce operates. Your career is your business. Your paycheck is your responsibility. And nobody will care about your financial future more than you do. If staying where you are is giving you growth, opportunity, fulfillment, and fair compensation, that's fantastic. Stay. But if loyalty is costing you your potential, your earning power, and your future wealth, then it may be time to ask a difficult question. Are you being rewarded for your loyalty, or are you paying the loyal employee tax? If you enjoyed this video and want more eye-opening insights about money, careers, and the hidden rules that shape your financial future, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments, have you ever stayed at a job longer than you should have? Or did changing jobs significantly increase your income? I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.